You know, Bob, sometimes a home buyer finds a home that they really like and it checks off most of their boxes, but it needs a little TLC or they want to do an add-on to the property right away, but they don't have the funds for it. There's a mortgage program out there called a renovation loan that will help them accomplish that.
And you know what, Rick? Let's talk about that.
Hello and welcome to this episode of What's Their MO. I'm Rick Masnick.
And I'm Bob Orlando, and today we want to talk about renovation loans.
Yeah, and the most popular one is the FHA's 203K loan. A lot of folks have heard of that, but there is a conventional program through Fannie Mae as well.
Right, so let's say you're looking at a property that needs some repairs, or maybe you just want to do some updating to the property. You can actually roll the cost of these repairs into the mortgage through a renovation loan.
In the case of needed repairs, you may have a seller that either won't or can't do some of the repairs before closing, but you still want the house and you're willing to pay for those repairs. You can get a renovation loan. And you want to put siding on the house because it doesn't have it, or you want to put a deck on the back of the house. Those are just a couple of examples of things that you can do with what's called a streamlined 203K loan.
Yeah, and a streamlined 203K loan is when you can finance up to a maximum of $35,000 of your renovation expenses, and you can do this, but as long as you're not doing any type of structural changes in the property, as far as removing walls or putting an addition on the property.
Now, if you're doing something structural to the home, like the examples that Bob just mentioned, then you're looking at a full 203K loan as opposed to a streamlined one. And that just means you've got to get a HUD consultant involved. And the HUD consultant acts as a liaison between the homeowner, the contractor, and the lender, just to make sure that the renovations get done according to the plans.
Right, and speaking of plans, when doing a renovation loan, we'll need to submit a complete package. So we'll need a copy of the purchase contract and also a copy of the renovation plans. But if you're doing something simple like a new roof or sidings or just anything that's not structural, then just a simple bid from a contract will be sufficient. But when you're taking down any structural or walls or making any structural changes, you're going to need a full set of plans.
Yeah. And one of the reasons for that, along with the contract, is the appraiser is going to need to see a copy of all the bids and the plans so they can provide a report that states that this is what the house is going to be worth when the work is done. So as an example, if you're buying a house for $350,000, you're adding $15,000 in renovations, we want to be able to see that the house is going to be worth $365,000 when the work is complete. The $350,000 purchase price plus the $15,000 in renovations.
Yeah, and it's also important to know that this is an actual loan product and it can be used for a refinance. So if you have some repairs or updating that you want to do to the property, you don't have sufficient equity in the home, you can use this to help finance your renovations to put any type of property, any fix up anything that you might want. So again, it can be used as a refinance.
And in either case, having a contractor who's good with providing detailed paperwork is going to be very important for the process. Now, if you found this information useful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you know someone else who could benefit from this information, please pass it along to them. But for now, that concludes this episode of What's Their MO. I'm Rick Masnick.
And I'm Bob Orlando, and we'll see you next time.